My name is Yakun Liu. I'm with Silvercorp Metals, ticker SVM, on both the TSX and NYSE American. Before jumping in, just a quick reminder that I'll be making forward-looking statements today. So Silvercorp, we operate profitable silver mines in China, which are supporting our growth efforts in Ecuador and beyond. We have a proven track record going back 20 years, during which we produced over 100 million ounces of silver, plus 1.5 billion pounds of lead and zinc. Our mines have been consistently profitable, generating well in excess of 600 million profits, which has allowed us to return over 235 million back to our shareholders through dividends and share buyback. We also built up a very strong balance sheet, which has just over 380 million in cash as of September 30th. And we also have investments in other companies. It's currently worth about 257 million. And the lion's share of that is in a company called New Pacific Metals, which has arguably two of the best undeveloped silver projects in the world, Silver Sand and Carangas, both in Bolivia. We are a responsible operator with strong ESG performance, as evident by our MSCI rating of A. And taking a look at our asset base, we have two operating mines in China, Ying and GC. Ying is a flagship and accounts for over 90% of our production. In Ecuador, we're building the El Domo copper gold mine, which is our priority number one. And back in China, we're also building a new silver mine called Kunping. This is a satellite project within the Ying district. In Kyrgyzstan, we've announced recently, just last week, we acquired two gold projects with combined 6 million ounces of gold. And we have two more gold projects. Condor is in southern Ecuador, and we're currently working through the permitting to allow us to do underground exploration. And this BYP, in China, we've operated it as a lead zinc mine up until 2014, but it has a very significant gold resource, and so we're trying to re-permit BYP as a gold mine. And so as you can see, we have a lot in the pipeline to support our growth and diversification. Taking a closer look at Ying, this is the engine of Silvercorp. The district comprises 7 underground mines, feeding ores to 2 million facilities with a combined 4,000 tons per day capacity. The mine produced 2 concentrates, a silver lead and a zinc concentrate, which are sold to local smelters. And the current mine life is 15 years, based on reserves, which can be further extended by converting a very significant resource inventory into reserves through drilling. And despite 20 years in production, we're still growing at Ying through increased mine mechanization. We've allocated 25 million this current fiscal year towards building bigger and more ramps, which will allow us to accommodate these trackless equipment as we continue to replace shafts for material handling. And current annual silver production, which is about 6.5 to 7 million ounces, is expected to grow by over 20% in the coming years. And this includes contribution from Kunping, the satellite project 33 kilometers to the north. It's fully permitted, and we're currently constructing the mine. And we should be starting to deliver some ores starting this year. Moving on to El Domo, this will be the next commercial mine built in Ecuador. Our updated capex for construction is 241 million, and this is fully funded by a mix of our current cash on hand, as well as 175 million in stream deposits from Wheaton Precious Metals. Maybe I'll finish on well after, yeah. And in return, we'll have to deliver 50% of the gold and 3/4 of the silver once we start production. Despite a year of challenging weather, we've been making good progress on construction in 2025. Our focus has been on site preparation, so stripping the overburden, upgrading roads, building new roads, as well as managing water on site. And we also started on some of the key infrastructures, like the tailings storage facility. For the process plant, we've ordered the long lead equipment, we blasted the pedestal, and we also are constructing the ore shed. And very importantly, we've also finished the construction camp, which will allow us to start bringing our mining contractors to come to site and start working on the pit soon as we finalize and sign the contract with them. And based on the current schedule, we look to commission the mine and the mill by the end of this year. If you look on the right-hand side table, you can see that El Domo is not a particularly big open pit, but it is very high grade and it is low cost, and that's why even at a very modest and very conservative pricing, metal price used in the 21 study, the project generates very, very compelling economics and a quick payback. Switching gears, so last week we announced a major transaction in Kyrgyzstan. We acquired a 70% interest in a mining license containing the two main projects, Chukabash oxide and the Kyzyltash sulfide, which has a combined 6 billion ounces of gold. The transaction also includes the surrounding exploration license containing a number of drill-ready targets, so providing further exploration upside. The Kyrgyz government will retain a 30% free carried interest, so aligning interest with us from construction to production and creating a true win-win outcome. And taking a look at these projects, they're located 490 kilometers by road southwest of the capital city, Bishkek, sitting at about 2,100 meter elevation. And the previous owner have already invested over 170 million into these projects. So there's been extensive drilling, metallurgical testing, a number of technical studies, as well as well-established infrastructure on site. And we look to develop these two projects in phases, starting with Chukabash, which is fully permitted for construction and operation for a open pit heap leach that can produce over 100,000 ounces of gold a year over 3 to 4 years. Then we'll move on to Kyzyltash, which is the bigger project that has a clear sightline to full permitting and can produce over 200,000 ounces of gold a year for 18 years. We look to close this transaction here very shortly and look forward to provide more details on our development plans in due course. We have a second gold project called Condor. This is located in the productive Zamora province of Ecuador, just south of Landingo's Fuerte del Norte. So Condor is still relatively early stage, but we are very excited about its potential to become a low-cost underground gold operation. And this is evident by the PEA that we put out last December, which is focused on just two deposits, Camp and Las Cuyas, which contains 2.5 million ounces of gold at a grade of about 2 grams per ton. And the study outlined a 5,000 tons per day underground operation producing mostly gold, silver, doré. And on an annual basis, Condor can produce over 100,000 ounces of gold a year over 13 years at a all-in sustaining cost of under $1,300. And that's why even at a base case gold price of $2,600, Condor generates very, very strong economics. If you were to plug in $3,500 gold, the NPV is north of $1 billion, and the IRR is close to 50%. And this, in part, reflects Condor's advantageous topography and geometry. In the early years, you don't need to ramp down to access mineralization. In fact, over a third of the mineralization lies above the main haulage level. And the next step at Condor for us is to complete the permitting for exploration tunnels, which will allow us to get underground and really start to drill these deposits more efficiently. Despite our strong performance and a clear growth path, Silvercorp remains undervalued relative to peers. We think this largely reflects still two factors. One is that we're still considered a single asset, single jurisdiction producer. And second is that that jurisdiction happens to be China. But we believe that as we continue to execute on our growth projects leading to a diversification of producing assets, we'll start to re-rate towards where our peers are currently trading. And if it's, as you can see, towards the median point of this group, it represents significant upside for our investors. Just like to wrap things up with a look at our shareholder base, we're 42% owned by institutions. You can see a list of familiar names on the left-hand side table. Insider owns about 4%, including Dr. Ri Fang, who is our founder and CEO, at 3%. And the balance is high net worth retail and family offices. I think we're running out of time, but love to chat more about the story at our booth here at VRIC, which is 204. Thank you very much.